Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, in deck number 824, we're going to talk about Old Stickfingers. And a big shout out to Jim Kendrick. Thank you very much, Jim, for donating this card. Did not have it. Old Stickfingers is X, a black, and a green for horror. When you cast it, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X creature cards. Okay. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your graveyard, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Old Stickfingers power toughness for each equal number of creature cards in your graveyard. So, we want to maximize the amount of creatures that we have. So let's just make the whole deck creatures. Well, I mean, we gotta have lands. Okay, how about all non-land cards creatures? Except for one. My one non-creature spell is Primal Surge. For obvious reasons, if we get it, it's amazing. If not, it doesn't take up too much of a spot. You know what I'm saying? So, let's look at our ramp. We still have, ramp, draw, removal, stuff like that, but we just have it in creature form. We've done that a couple times, but we have Scuttlemutt, Llanowar Elves, Secure Tribe Elder, Wood Elves, Green Weaver Druid. I like the Somberwald Sage, especially for this particular deck, creatures only. 3 mana to cast and taps for 3, that's not bad. Elvish Mystic, the pair of Mirror, Copper, and Leaden. The Llanowar Visionary. Elves of Deep Shadow, love that card. Farhaven Elf, and the Dawnheart Rejuvenator. It's a little pricey at 4 mana, I know. Gain 3 life, I don't know if that's worth it, but it's what we've got, right? So, a little bit of card draw in Sandstone Oracle. Somebody's always going to have more cards, Oran Viper and Lily's Standard Bearer. There are probably other incidental, card drawing here as well. But let's look at some of our more serious creatures, shall we? We gotta have that Zulaport Cutthroat, right? Whenever it or another creature dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. With all creatures, that's gonna happen. And in this particular deck, we don't have to worry as much about overcommitting and getting wiped, because if we do, our commander just comes back that much bigger. To Viscera Seer, to feed the graveyard now. This is a regular Viscera Seer. It's not one of those cool numbered ones. Man, that's kind of rare, isn't it? There's only going to be 100 of those in the world. That's neat. Gerard kind of does the same thing. He gets +1 for each creature in the yard. And that sack ability is pretty neat. And the ability to get him back late game, it's not bad either. The Vindictive Vampire, it's not that far off of Zulaport. Dreadhound, kind of like this one. A creature dies, or a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from the library. Each opponent loses 1 life. That is beautiful. Twin Blade Assassin. If a creature died this turn, draw a card. That probably should have been with the card draw. Roaring Primadox. You saw all of those. When this creature comes into play, do a thing. Roaring Primadox. I don't have the other 2 in here because the other 2 specifically state green creatures, and I want to get multiple use out of Necrotol and things like that. Guardian Augmenter. I love this. This is almost a counterspell, because it does have flash, and when they target your commander, you flash it out there, and you're like, nah, man, he's got hexproof. Underrealm Lich. If you draw cards to loot the top 3, put 1 in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. So we're going to be feeding the graveyard creatures, because, it's either going to be creatures or lands, right? Yeah, pretty neat. So, some removal. Now, I count Vampire Hexmage as removal because it does shoot down a walker. It also helps with the random +1 counter deck, or what have you. The aforementioned Necrotol, of course, big game hunter, is real close to it. Acidic Slime. Manglehorn is just so good. Not only does it pop that artifact when it comes in, but it makes all of their artifacts enter tapped, which is nice. They don't get that same turn bump off their Soul Ring if they draw it late. Thrashing Wampus. Of course, our Sacrifice trio, Plague Crafter, Fleshbag Marauder, Slum Reaper, Shriek Maw, it's not bad, and Noxious Gearhulk is a pretty good creature. Now, with that being said, we would normally move to our non-basic lands. However, you're thinking, what? You're about 20-something cards shy, Canada. Yes, I am. So, I didn't want to cover this at first, but everything that you've seen up until here serves a purpose, right? But I needed creatures. I needed bodies to fill out the deck. And what better to fill out a deck than slivers? Golgari slivers, we've just got green and black, and they do help each other out. Now, there are 24 of these slivers, so it is not, I didn't go through the changeling thing. I wanted things to contribute to the tribe. And, I guess there are other ways I could have went with it, but this is what I did. So, we have Gemhide Sliver. Venom Sliver, giving them all Death Touch. Clot for regeneration. Virulent, look at that, poisonous. The Reflex gives them haste. Now, this is the important sliver if we do the Primal Surge thing. Yes. Might giving them +2. Muscle giving them +1. Tempered deals combat damage to a player. You put a counter on it. Frenzy Sliver. Sliver attacks and isn't blocked, it gets +1, so that's neat. Spinneret's going to let them block flyers. Quick Sliver. I love flash slivers. That's kind of good. Of course, the Predatory is another +1. Crypt. I like the tap to regenerate a little better than the pay, Of course, the Metallic Inventor. I know they don't add to the tribe, but they are bodies. Darkheart. I love that there's no mana payment here, so if somebody wipes your board, you can just, I'm going to sack all mine to gain 3 life apiece. Leeching Sliver. It attacks, defending player loses a life. That can matter. Chip-in damage kind of matters. We have, the Ground Shaker, giving them trample. It's not bad. Spitting. First Strike again. Dregscape. Sliver card in your graveyard has Unearth. Now that may or may not work against our commander because you exile at the beginning of the end step, but we are relying on a lot of creatures being in the yard. So Sliversmith is not a sliver, but it does let us discard a card, probably a creature, maybe a land if it's late game, to put a Metallic Sliver token into play. Mind Whip. This is one you don't see happen a lot. Sack this creature and target player discards a card at random. Of course, Fungus Sliver, and then Basal Sliver. Basal Sliver has come in handy for me over the years. Oh my gosh, I don't know why more people don't use it, because just to be able to sack the creature to get double black, you're putting mana on layaway, especially if you've got a lot of the 1-drops. It gives that Metallic Sliver something to do. So now we'll go to our non-basic lands. We're going to start off with Savagas the Restless Tomb. This one is just, black and green plant zombie creature with power and toughness equal to the number of creature cards in the yard. So this is right on our theme, what we're trying to do. It's another giant creature. Golgari Rot Farm, Command Tower, Darkmoss Bridge, Golgari Guildgate, Terramorphic Expanse, Temple of Malady, Evolving Wilds, Foul Orchard, Tainted Wood, Jungle Hollow, Rogue's Passage, Witherbloom Campus, and the Hissing Quagmire. And that is Old Stickfingers in his big creature bashing, I guess. Like I said, I do appreciate it very much, Jim. Thank you so much. This one's been done for a while, actually. It just hasn't had its turn to be filmed. So, 824 is done. We'll put it on the wall. Be there, play on Friday. So, I do appreciate y'all watching, liking, all that fun stuff. But right now, we're going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.